Hi, welcome to UCLA Extension course English XL 4W. My name is Jim Caulfield and I'll be the instructor for our 11-week course. I hope you've had a chance to familiarize yourself with the Blackboard course software that we'll be using. I think if this is your first time for online learning, distance learning, I think you'll find the Blackboard course software fairly easy to navigate, figure out, not too tough. You'll find there on the course website all the necessary information, the course syllabus, the weekly reading lists, assignments, and so forth, all the machinery that we'll need to make this a successful course. Let me say a couple of words about the textbooks. The course is titled Genre and Its Discontents, an Introduction to Literary Kinds, or Genres. What I've tried to do is divide the course into sections. Each section pairs two examples of a genre. Now, in our first couple of weeks, we'll be looking at poetry. Poetry, after all, is believed to be the oldest, the most ancient of literary forms. All the poetry will be provided on the course website. You won't have to run out and buy anything for the first couple of weeks. Beginning in week 3, however, we'll turn to the drama. We'll start with Shakespeare's Othello. In week 4, then, we'll move on to Harold Pinter's The Birthday Party. Poetry and drama, rather, are two of the oldest of literary forms. A more recent form to emerge is the essay, and the origin of the essay is often traced to this fellow, Michel de Montaigne. And we will read his Apology for Raymond Sebon. Actually, we'll only read a portion of this essay for this course. I've paired Montaigne with the American essayist Ralph Waldo Emerson. Quite a schnoz that guy had. Now, most of the books in this course, the texts, as we say, are readily available online. They've all been, and in numerous editions, they've all been printed and reprinted many times over the years and in many different forms. So you needn't feel obligated to purchase the very exact editions I'm showing here. Be aware, however, that not only will I be doing these little video mini lectures from time to time, but I'll also be posting some written notes and written mini lectures. When I refer to page numbers in those written lectures, I'll be referring to the editions that I'm showing here. But again, you needn't feel bound to buy these editions. From the essays, we'll move on to letters. This cover doesn't show up particularly well on this low-quality video, but these are the love letters of the medieval monastics Heloise and Abelard. Some of the earliest examples of that passionate form. Along with the letters of Heloise and Abelard, we'll be reading Franz Kafka's A Letter to His Father. Now, the Kafka text is not readily available in a print edition, so you'll see on the syllabus that I've included a hyperlink to that text. From letters, we'll move on to memoirs, autobiographies, beginning with St. Augustine's Confessions. This is often thought the first autobiography in the Western tradition. Here Augustine is pictured on the front in his garden, weeping over the stolen fruit. After Augustine, then, we'll read another memoir, Joan Didion's The Year of Magical Thinking. The final genre that we'll examine in this course is that of the novel, beginning with Jane Austen's Persuasion, ending with W.G. Sebald's The Rings of Saturn. Now, as I say, the course is called Genre and its Discontents. Literature, of course, the word literature derives from the Latin word for letter, that is, something written down. And long before anything was written down, a lot was said. So it's fair to say that our literary culture derives from a much older, infinitely older, oral tradition of telling, of stories, of narratives. Now, the origins of the oral tradition are obscure, just as the origin of language itself is obscure. It still presents a puzzle to linguists and cognitive scientists. It is thought often that language narratives are often associated with singing and dancing, with myths and rituals, often with a religious or spiritual import. After all, as the famous saying has it, language is power. Language is often associated with words that do things. Think of prayers and oaths. Think of spells and incantations, hocus pocus, abracadabra. These are magic words, words with power, much as one's personal name is often guarded jealously. Think of Rumpelstiltskin or Cupid and Psyche. Now, if we can't say what the origin of the oral tradition is, we can certainly say where. So from the most ancient human cultures, we find the earliest evidence of oral narratives. So from Mesopotamia, that is from the Tigris and Euphrates, the Middle East, the cradle of civilization, which we've so thoroughly bombed in the last decade or so. Also from the Nile Valley in northern Egypt, northern Africa rather, the Indus Valley in modern-day Pakistan, India, the Hay Valley, the Yellow River in modern-day China. Also, Mesoamerican cultures had a rich oral tradition, and this list could easily be extended to Asian Pacific Island cultures, to the Australian indigenous cultures, and so on. In my next little clip, we will talk a little bit about the emergence of the literary from the oral tradition, and the evidence, the traces that oral literature embeds in the literary culture. Once again, welcome to English XL 4W.